Clever Bob.
Oh,
All
hey,
right. Hey, everybody. This is Crazy TV Talk. We are doing a special, and we've got a lovely lady, Paula Hoffman, from the Vancouver Webfest, and I also have my salubrious co-host, JD.
hello, everybody. Welcome. I love the Love Hangouts, and I love Vancouver Web Fest. I loved 2014. It was amazing, and I'm super excited for this March 6th through 8th for Vancouver Web Fest 2015. And thank you so much, Paula, for coming on today. Paula Hoffman, yay!
My pleasure, you guys. Thanks for having me back again. I always like coming and hanging out with you guys.
Nice. We love having you, and we love talking about web series. We love talking about new content. We love talking about creators, people who understand how hard it is to get a vision, an idea, to get into pre-production, to find the right team, to shoot it, to edit it, to have great sound and music, and then to put it on the web, distribute it, and market it, and find an audience. And they've done all this work for us. We get to just go sit down and have free popcorn at the event and enjoy watching all these amazing shows. And because of you and Suzette, we get to really, really have a great, fun weekend. Thanks.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad you guys enjoy it.
Well, we
That's why we do it.
We definitely get a lot of party action out of it, for sure. I mean, it's way more than your stand. Like, when was the last time you got to go to a theater and then there's a bar in the back and you can have some a drink and chat with somebody that developed a show, and they say, oh, I'm going to go now because they're playing my show. And you say, oh, great, I'll join you. And, you know, such an amazing experience, because it's not just regular Joes there. They're the people that actually made these different web series. It's the behind-the-scene people. There's the technical people. There's I ran into some accountants that specialize in doing accounting industry. So you really get a very granular understanding of how many different talents it is. I mean, gosh, last year they had some animal handlers there with these beautiful birds of prey, and people were able to go there with put a gauntlet on and actually pose with the bird, which is quite popular.
Do you want to know what we're doing this year?
Oh, it's going to be tarantulas? Are you doing tarantulas?
I think there's a tarantula. I'm not sure if the tarantula is coming. I think I asked for it. But the birds will be back, and I think there's 3 of them this year.
Oof.
And we will also have wolves.
Ooh, cool.
And I know there's a giant tortoise.
Sweet.
And those are the for sure. I don't know if I know the guy with the tortoise has Gary Oliver of Safari Rescue, Urban Safari Rescue, and Cinema Zoo is coming, and he's bringing the tortoise. And I know he has a big tarantula, and Suzette likes it, so I would imagine it would come.
I'm thinking Indiana Jones here.
Look, I saw that. That was awesome. She likes it. I do. But it might be.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a wolf would be so cool. I mean, if you could get one of the earwolves from that TV series, that would be pretty awesome. But I think those aren't that actual size, which is
I think they're just regular size wolves.
Special effect, but that's okay. A wolf is scary as all heck anyway, especially when you match eyes with them. They have this look where you're like, am I being sized up? Am I lunch? Am I like an enemy? What am I? What am I to you? Because I can't run fast enough to get away, so I hope it's something good. I hope it's a buddy. I hope you want to play. And I felt the same way with those birds last year. Everybody was really, really just free with those birds. I'm like, it would just take them a second to really just get in there and
your eyes out.
That's my paranoia, though. That's me and wild animals.
But it was surprising because there were so many people around, and those handlers were amazing.
Amazing.
They were handling the people well, and the animals knew that the handlers were there because, I mean, gosh, if you're used to dealing with a director and an overexcited PA, us regular people, it's like, yeah, you guys, you're nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
And a screaming first AD and grip banging and electrics moving lights, and the birds were so chill. They're like, yeah, whatever. I've seen cranes and drones and all sorts of crazy stuff. So
Yeah, they've been ruined by the industry. Hollywood North, man, come on.
nice.
Anyways,
I saw one of the birds on a smoke break after. It was amazing.
So I wanted to dig down for you last year, and I know it was a 3-day event. It was lots and lots of stuff going on. Did you have a favorite moment, somewhere where you were saying, I love this. This is really cool, where you actually became a participant and instead of an organizer?
I have very little memory of last year, to be honest with you. I was just on pure adrenaline. Although I do remember several times just being like, holy crap, we did it. Like, I can't believe that everybody actually came. And it was, and you know when it really all hit me was at home Sunday night after it was all over, and I was going through the Twitter feed from the evening and looking at all the stuff on Twitter, and then it was just like, I was weeping and, alone in the dark, crying, reading the Twitter feed.
Oh,
I've been to other web events. I've been to marketing events. I've been to business events. I've been to other film festivals. The inclusivity and the open door policy of the entire event was a really amazing type of feeling. So there's an emotionality that I never got anywhere else. I could literally approach anybody and ask them questions and introduce myself and say hi and talk about this or talk about that. It's really is an open door event where whether you're a creator or a fan or somebody who's calling just to say hi.
Yes.
It's some number from Quebec that calls me all the time. So whoever you are from Quebec that's calling me, stop it.
You may get pulled from the show.
I have never been to an event that I felt that way before, where it wasn't like I felt outclassed in any way. I felt like I was part of it. And whether it was taking photos in front of the photo booths, being silly there, handing out business cards, it didn't matter what you were there for. You could have a good time.
For sure. Well, I think it's really exciting for the creators because it's not a medium that's really developed where it gets a live audience or a big screen presentation. So for them to be able to sit in the audience with other people and watch their show on a big screen, like that doesn't happen all the time. So it's everybody's really happy to be there.
Well, you mentioned a big thing that I totally forgotten about is the big screen. You have a massive screen. It's not like you're watching this on a little 17-inch monitor. And yeah, that sounds crazy, but there are some Webfests that are out there that are literally on a 24-inch monitor. You have a massive, massive screen, and that's a pretty industrial-sized projector that you're using. So it really feels like you're in a theater environment.
Well, that's what we were going for. So because it's
nice.
Yeah, we wanted it to be big and theatrical.
Yeah, but just think about it. It's so rare that you ever get to watch a web series that big. I mean, really, the only other time is you got to get 3 inches away from a 24-inch screen to have the same effect.
Yeah. But hey, they're all with the technology we have, they're all capable of being shown on something that size. So, just because you're developing it to be shown on a 26-inch screen doesn't mean that you can shoot it that way. You have to shoot it for the larger format. So it's there. Why not take advantage?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you really learned going from 2014 to now in terms of your experience then? And I know it was like a lot of adrenaline, and you not only did you pull it off, but you pulled it off with a lot of style and a lot of personality, and very approachable. What were the lessons that you got from the last Webfest, and how did you apply it to this next one?
Well, I think the main thing was that everything we did sort of paid off because people really appreciated it and they had a good time and they came and they enjoyed themselves, which was all we ever wanted. So I figure what we learned is to try to do that again.
More of the same. More of the same.
Yeah. And, we got to take it up a notch too. So it's just a little bit of pressure.
Well, I'm curious because you obviously reapproached everybody that you worked with last year, I would assume, and they must have had a totally different response. More quick on the uptake and yes, can we get involved, or was it basically the same type of uptake as last year?
No, it was easier for sure to get people involved because we had quite a bit of press and exposure, so people who hadn't heard of us. Well, it was our first year last year, so nobody heard of us because we were brand new. So now we have that behind us, and we pulled off the festival, and people were happy with it. So it was much easier to. It wasn't hard to convince people from last year to come back and getting new people on board. We had a lot of people come and approach us this year too. We didn't even have to go looking, so that was nice too.
So you've got hundreds and hundreds of people submitting pieces from all over the world. What for you was the most unusual location to get something from?
Well, we had one from Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That was probably except for Australia, that was probably like the farthest away. And we didn't get a lot from Asian. I don't think we got any from Asian countries last year, so it was sort of nice to see that.
Nice.
That was probably the most exotic that we got. And the regulars were Spain and Italy because they're quite prolific, and so they were represented this year as well. And Mexico, we had quite a few from Mexico this year as well, maybe due to the Baja Webfest. So,
yeah.
It's a genre that's growing all over the world. So,
and you got a few from Italy as well. You've also got a tremendous amount from the U.S. all over the U.S. Is amazing. New York, Brooklyn, Los Angeles. There's some from Florida, Washington, D.C., unreal Austin, of course. Quite a few from Italy. You've got and a really great local contingency, which is great too. Lots of BC, Pacific Northwest, and from Toronto, quite a few. Even one from Saskatoon, which is amazing, right in the middle of the country. Montreal, France. I don't even know how to pronounce this one. Vivroflay, France. It sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try.
I want to go. I want a summer there or something, though. It sounds lovely.
So, in your rules for getting involved in this Webfest, if it is done in France and is in the Parisian French, do they have to submit it with subtitles?
Yes, we do ask that they submit with subtitles.
Okay, that's a good thing to know. So if you're an American crew, you have to do subtitles for Canadian English, of course. So we don't get confused with color.
We can handle it. I do have to say though, a lot of people, and it's fine to use the automatic captions on YouTube. However, I would just suggest to people out there that, especially if it's comedy, maybe that's not a good choice because the nuances just don't get translated properly. So I think it's really worth it to just get it translated by someone who speaks the language and do it yourself. There are lots of there are ways to caption your own shows by yourself. I did my own caption the series that I did by myself. It was not very hard. It wasn't very time consuming, especially if your episodes are short. It doesn't take that long. It's not that hard. But there's a great website called amera.org that you just upload your videos, and it has a whole program in place, and you can just type along.
Oh, nice.
It's really easy to do. So I highly recommend people do that instead of using the YouTube automatic generated.
Yeah, I think like comedy is very difficult because the comical sensibility of different countries is so radically different. I mean, in Japan, very, very different sense of comedy. I mean, they love their slapstick, but there's this whole storytelling part of the comic groups or entertainment, and I didn't find it funny at all. Even with the translations, it was like, oh, this is a story. The guy, there's a tree and a nut falls out of the tree and hits him in the head, and everybody's like, what? That's hilarious. I'm going, what? a tree, nut, what? But,
Yeah.
so yeah, it would be definitely tricky, but for sure, doing just straight translation verbatim is a recipe for disaster. I mean, when we were doing translations of advertisements, you would have to look at the culture and say, well, look at, we say saving for a rainy day here in North America, but in Thailand, per se, it would be waiting for the rainy season.
Yeah.
So it was, the end of the dry season. It's a completely different meaning and way of saying it. So yeah, a bit
And
tricky.
comedy, for specifically, it's all about timing. And if you have the words before the joke or after the joke, you're totally missing it. And especially for somebody who isn't in the language, it gets quite complex and to try and keep up. In terms of what did you see in a difference in quality from, let's say, last year? Was it harder to make decisions this year? Was there a larger field that you had to decide from compared to last year now that you're more well known? Was the process a lot longer? Did you give yourself that lead time? Because last time you had the festival in May and now you've got it earlier in March, so it was even less time to prepare than before.
Yeah, I think we still managed to have the same amount of lead time, although the timing was tricky because a lot of the work came during the holidays. So that maybe was not the best. But we did get more submissions this year, and they were all a lot better. The quality was definitely up on every level, from writing to production values to everything. So it was harder this year. Like I said, I'll look at them and I'm sure I can dismiss them, No, it wasn't like that. I had to watch them carefully, and there was one that I was like, I know I'm not going to like this show, and I'm weeping at the end of it, and then it's like, God damn it. I've spent 20 minutes, I'm totally engrossed in this, and now I really want to watch more of it, but I've got to do my work. Yeah. So, yeah, it was really hard. It was much harder this year, I think, for everybody.
So do you
Which
think
is a good thing. I'm not complaining. It's awesome that it's harder for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that means y'all are doing a great job. So.
And some of the shows last year were jaw-droppingly good. They were so amazing. I wanted to ask you, are you seeing any patterns where you're getting more drama or more horror or more animation happening this year compared to last year?
Yeah, actually, it's more or less though. There was less fantasy this year. There was more documentaries.
Yeah.
And more amazing documentaries. Like, oh, that was a hard one. The documentaries were difficult because we got excellent they were all really good. So that one was a hard one. We still got tons of comedy, like ridiculous amounts of comedy. And there was a lot of good stuff. Like, we've got a UCB show. We've got this show out of LA called Caper that was really quite exceptional, and just a lot of really good, funny stuff. So tons of comedies, but yeah, it was. It does seem to go in waves, and I'm not sure why. It's only the second year, so it's hard to define a pattern. But I did notice that there was more documentaries this year, less fantasy, maybe less sci-fi.
Now, do you have a mandate of what you try and do in terms of? I know we talked about this a bit last year in terms of building the blocks, the entertainment blocks. You like to represent each genre, so when somebody comes, they get a nice wide kind of swath of a comedy and a drama and a this. And this year you're doing something really special, which is interesting. Is you have a family day, and you're tying that into the animal handlers, and it looks like a fabulous day on the Sunday. Where you have a lot of there's animated and some family-oriented shows, so it's a great thing for the families to come out and really enjoy that kind of thing. In choosing, are you saying we're going to have 20 documentaries, we're going to have 10, 20 comedies? Like, is there a specific amount that you're shooting for in each genre?
Well, generally we have a maximum number. Well, we only have so many shows that we can. Yeah. We only have so much time that we can fill, so we have to limit the number of shows that we can have as official selection. So we sort of start there, and then we have a maximum for each category, and then we sort of adjust that depending on, like, some entries we didn't have a lot of entries in that category, so we were able to maybe take extras from that category and put them in another category, and you know, comedy is always overwhelming, so we always have more than we intend because we just can't make up our minds, really. It's just too hard to choose, so we choose not to. So but we just do our best to try to pick the best shows out there and have a representation from every category. And when we're programming them, it's important for us to mix them up a little bit, because, and it's funny because Suzette encountered some people that, you know, weren't keen on that at first. But then they realized that, you know, just by the very nature of documentaries, most people just aren't going to go to a documentary block because it sounds grim. Now, I'll tell you, if we did that, our documentaries are amazing, so it wouldn't be, but we still mix everything up because it's nice to have the variety. Like, it's fun, I think, for people to have that kind of, and you're going to see stuff that you wouldn't necessarily check out otherwise, and you're probably going to be pleasantly surprised. So.
And the quality and the tone and the viewpoint is completely different, and that's what's wonderful. Like you said, I discovered some, like, even in the comedies, because comedy is such a specific thing, what everybody thinks is funny, but it's surprising what you laugh at because you normally wouldn't be looking for it. You know, most people, when they choose comedy, they choose the same 4 or 5 things that they do. They don't like to go explore when it comes to comedy. But I found last year with the comedies, and there was a couple of there was a musical that was amazing, and I'm not a musical guy, and the quality of it was so fantastic, and to see some of the dramas and the effects that they do, it's great for those surprises, and it should be not just entertaining, it should be surprising, it should move you, it should you know, bring you to tears, and last year it really did. You guys did a great mix where you normally wouldn't, and it's a roller coaster. It's awesome to be laughing one minute and be sad and crying or amazed the next. It's really an amazing feat that you guys pull it off. It's fantastic.
Well, and also, you know, I want to jump here and talk about the quality. I mean, I watched lots of the shows last year, and yeah, there were some that were done on a shoestring budget and had not the best acting in the world, but really, by and far, that stuff out there was as good or better than the stuff that's being broadcast on the TV. Really, I mean, it's shorter, but it doesn't matter. There was some stuff, I think it was like Frostbite did it about, it's called The Hereafter or something. It's all shot in this one room, and they'd used an abandoned house in just here in BC, and it was just basically about a guy who wakes up in a room and he's in limbo. And the concept is limbo. He looks out the window and there's this scary thing. And it doesn't sound like much, but oh my God, it was really intense. And it was beautifully shot. And it was beautifully acted. And it was minimalist, but it was minimalist because it worked for the plot. It wasn't minimalist because we have no money. It was minimalist because they're really good at art direction. And I think that's my biggest takeaway, was that web series have matured so much, and the technical prowess of these people is really, really impressive. I mean, this isn't just some bubblegum. Yeah, this is not B-movie stuff that we're going, of course it's free because, you know, this is cheap crap. No, this is good stuff, and I think that's the biggest shocker for a lot of people. They go to the event and say, wow, it's a pretty impressive event. And, oh, cool people. Oh, some wine, excellent. And then they sit down, it's like, oh my God, that was an amazing show. Oh, I got to watch another one. And I think that was the big thing that I ran into when I was chatting with people, was that basically they were flabbergasted at the quality of the shows that were out there.
Yeah.
That's my rant. That's all I gotta say. I'm done.
I wanted to ask a bit about some of the workshops that you have at this one, and also you're going to have a keynote speaker this time around as well, and you have a couple of panels. So let's talk a bit about the other stuff that's there besides the entertainment, which is amazing, and I agree with Bob, and I agree with you. Like, once you see it on a big screen, it takes on a whole nother life, and the quality really comes through. But for people who want to network, for people who want to learn, and for people who just want to experience all the different aspects of making these kinds of things. Tell us a little bit about, you have TELUS and StoryHive there. Tell us a little bit about your keynote speaker and then some of the other panels you have as well.
You bet. Well, Friday is a full day of workshops, and for everything you need to know to make a web series. If you take those workshops, you're good to go. You're ready. We've got TELUS StoryHive is coming in. TELUS is a Canadian, what would they be? A telecommunications company. They're funding web series here in BC. They have a program called StoryHive, which has contests for creators to create and win money to develop their shows, and so they're going to come in and do. Karen Lamb is a local filmmaker here. She does horror movies. She's quite successful. Her last horror movie was called Evangeline, and she's done a web series with TELUS, and so they're going to do a case study on that. Then we also have Reverse Workflow with GFC Studios. They're just going to talk about how, we have such tight budgets and restrictions on time. You really have to learn to shoot economically, time-wise and financially. So they're going to tell you how to do that with pre-visualization techniques and everything else. So really a must-have, something that can really help you as a filmmaker. Even as a regular filmmaker, you don't have to be a web series creator or maker to enjoy any of these workshops. If you have any interest in filmmaking at all, these will be helpful to you. We've got sound design with Big World Sound. Doug Patterson did a brief workshop last year. He's going to do a full hour, a big workshop this year as well. We've got Jeff Young from Altman & Company here in town. Aaron Altman was at the festival last year. They're one of our sponsors. He's going to be giving a legal workshop on all the legal issues that are out there, because it's a soupy mess out there on the internet, and there's stuff that I'm sure you don't know because there's so much. So he's going to be there to answer your questions. And Carter Mason from Just a Story TV is going to be back again, and he's going to talk about, and this is, I recommend this one because this seems to me one of the harder parts of the whole web series thing, is to do your business and marketing plan, and he's going to walk you through it. I might want to sit on that one myself, just because that's handy for any business. Like, that's the worst part of any business, is having to sit down and write that thing. So Carter's going to tell you how to do it, and I'm sure he's going to do it in a really fun and way.
And for those interested in all those workshops, you can get the whole day for $50 and get all the workshops, plus you can also get the screening block that's on that day, which is Canadian North Pacific, and plus the party as well, all for $50 for the one day. Learn, network, and then party. I mean, it's perfect. It's a perfect opportunity for any creators.
Hang on, if I pay my $99 special that you got on right now, does that include that Friday as well?
Yes, it does.
Oh my God,
yeah,
that's crazy cheap.
I know. I don't. Last minute people, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just spend the $99 to get everything.
Yeah, so. It's $99. Just buy it and don't go if you don't want. That's fine. But just get the tickets and go.
You'll be missing out if you don't come.
Yes, that's true.
That's the fun part.
And then also, is there a panel on the Saturday?
Yeah, we have a panel on the Saturday, and that is going to be moderated by Andrew Sheffer from the IPF, which is the Independent Production Fund here in Canada. They are our major funding source for web series. And she's going to be talking to Spencer Griffin from College Humor. We've got Brad Danks from Out TV, Enrique Soisa from Daily Motion Canada, Carter Mason from Just the Story is going to be on that panel as well. We've got Broadband TV coming on that panel, and they're just going to be giving advice on how to make a successful web series. And all those people are coming from different places on the internet, so it's going to be a huge...
Q&A as well. People can ask some questions, so they'll talk a bit, and then they'll have an open forum, and people can really get to specific issues if they like. I love that kind of format. It really. And
a lot of these guys will be at the festival just there, so you can talk to them after and before. And Spencer afterwards from College Humor, he's going to do a pitch workshop. It's super limited. We only have room for 10 people, so we're just started putting that out there. Pitching is hard. it's one of those things that people struggle with, and he's going to take 10 people, and you get 5 minutes to pitch your show to him, and then he'll tell you what he'd like to give you constructive criticism on your pitch and your concept. So those details will be coming out on the website and social media very, very soon, but that's really exciting.
Only 3 weeks away, guys. Get in.
Yeah. And then we have our keynote speaker, Bernie Sue, creator of the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, is coming, and he is going to, because he's amazing. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he knows how to do a web series and do it right.
Yes, the Lizzie Bennett Diaries are amazing.
Yeah,
They're
and that whole project, and it's a transmedia project. It made money. He gets paid to make web series now. He's in development, I think, with PBS Digital, and he's the man. So he's going to be our keynote speaker, and he's going to be there all weekend as well. So people should pick his brain, take advantage of his presence. And then, of course, and then later that evening, we have a stunts and swords demonstration and Q&A. So it's going to be all about, fighting on set, stunts, and how to deal with safety on set when you've got all that stuff going on. So that's going to be really fun. That's right before the Frostbite party.
Nice.
And then on Sunday, of course, we have the first screening of the day is a family-friendly panel. So we're encouraging, people to come out, bring your kids, watch some fun family-oriented shows, and then stay for the animal panel afterwards, which is
and free
animal trainers.
Free coffee from JJ Bean, free donuts from Lee's Donuts in Granville Island, and also free popcorn. So bring the kids, pay for the ticket, and there's snacks, and you got coffee to keep yourself awake, and tell us more about we talked a bit about the animals there. It's amazing to see that kind of power and beauty and wildness, and the kids would freaking love it. I'd love it. I mean, I'd probably be more scared as a kid than anything, but that's me.
I just want to jump in here. Are the kids' tickets a different price or the same as the adults?
Well, kids get in free.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Well,
serious? That's amazing.
For the Sunday.
Yeah.
But they have to be accompanied by an adult, though.
Yes, I would recommend it. And most of the screenings, I got to say, are not for kids. So
right. So which is why you did the family on the Sunday, and that's what I've been
Sunday
telling
morning. Bring the kids, see the animals, and then the kids are going to be done by then anyway, because they're going to be all full of popcorn and soda and be all hyped up from the animals. So you're going to have to take them out to Granville Island to run amok anyway. So,
but it's a really good Sunday, March the 8th. It's a really good opportunity to spend the day with your kids, learn a lot, laugh, get some snacks, and have a really fun day. Also, I guess let's talk a bit about the parties. We got socialites in Vancouver. We got people who just want to come up and dress up and show up and just be part of all the fun party events. What party events do you have for those people who don't want to see the entertainment, but they want to be part of the entertainment? They're there to have a good time.
For sure. Well, we've got parties every night. So Friday night is our launch party, and we're celebrating the Pacific Northwest with our special screening that night. And Saturday is a party hosted by Frostbite. They're a production company that works with web series and develops and distributes web series. They're going to be putting on their big shindig on Saturday. And then Sunday, of course, is our awards gala. So we're going to have the big awards ceremony and the party afterwards.
You guys got red carpet. You can dress up to the nines. You
red
can watch
carpet,
the
lots of
ceremony.
photographers.
Yeah. Vancouver likes that stuff.
Bars. We'll have 2 bars open for the parties.
2 bars for this one. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, that's a good segue for this question. Is what's the general layout? Because I've been to that building before. It's near the. If you go onto Granville, you turn right and you go to the far right, and there's kind of like a hotel there. And just before the hotel, if the hotel's right in front of you, it's just on the right-hand side. It's a nondescript type building. It's kind of cool looking. It's got that long hallway, and then it opens up into the big area. Now, I remember talking with you guys about a year ago about this location. Are you planning on putting some tents outside in that open area, or is it going to be all inside?
No. Yes. No. Yeah, we are gonna tent the patio. There's a patio right off of the long hallway lobby on the left. So we're going to That is going to be our Atomic 2 patio or lounge, and we've actually got Atomic 2 Lighting is sponsoring us for that lounge. They're going to be giving us the furniture, which is lights up and in different colors. It's super cool.
Sweet.
I went and looked at it today. It's fun. So yeah, we're going to tent off that area, and we're going to have a whole lounge going on in there. We're going to have some displays and step and repeat and the couches, and it's just adjacent to that bar, which is the main bar, which will be open most of the time. We probably don't open the bar till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but we won't have the beer in the morning, but we'll have soda and water and coffee and tea and all that good stuff. But yeah, so we'll have that lounge area, and then when you go inside is the screening area in that big room. Will be set up with the leather chairs and all that good stuff.
Nice.
Nice. And so that's at Performance Works at Granville Island. The address is 1218 Cartwright Street in Vancouver. And, if you're going to go there for the Friday or Saturday or even Sunday, there's lots of places to go catch a dinner and then come see a show. Come look at some of the blocks of entertainment they have, or come for the after party after you have dinner. Lots of things to do at Granville Island, and then come and check out what you guys have going on there. And the way you set up the tickets are amazing, because a block of shows is $10. Some of the events are either $50 for the day or $25 just for the event. You're selling tickets just for the gala alone if people want to come to that, right?
Yes.
So I think the gala tickets are, pardon me, here. Trying to be helpful.
Yeah, he's just going through their website. You can just go to their website and do all this.
Yeah, you can check out the website.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, while Jadine is doing his homework there, for you, what do you think is the, and I know this is a totally unfair question, but what do you think is going to be the most exciting day? I mean, if somebody only has one day available, and it's like, I've only got one day of time, what should they go for? Should they go for the Friday with with the party? Should they go for Saturday with the Frostbite party, or should they go for the big gala event? What do you reckon?
And it's only $35 for the gala event, dress up and after party.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, well, it depends really what you're into, because if you like dressing up, then the gala party would be the way to go, because that's going to be fancy dress, and everybody's going to be sort of in that sort of mood. The Friday party is going to be a little more laid back, because it is Pacific Northwest themed, although I don't want anybody showing up in yoga pants.
Okay, so business casual. Yeah, I think that's a good question.
Friday night out, dress, you can wear jeans, but dress it up. Don't wear sweatpants, don't wear yoga pants. Like you're going out. Dress like you're going out. But it doesn't have to be as dressy as the awards gala.
Yeah, for the Friday night screening and launch party, it's $25 if you just want to go to that last screening and then to that. But you could do the whole day for $50 and also do all the workshops.
And for another $40, you can do the $99 special and get the whole thing.
Get the whole thing.
Now, I've got a question, and this is, for people that are trying to be extra super crazy frugal. Could somebody, get a $99 ticket and then, share it with 3 people? Are you allowed to do that, or is it? I don't know. No one's ever asked before. I mean,
controversial.
I know, but
honestly, I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I mean, if you're
no comment.
Yeah. No, but I'm not really. I mean, it's some people just think that way.
I guess in theory you could. We're not checking IDs against your pass badge, So.
Well, you know what? What's going to happen though?
But the
guy that goes on Friday is going to want it. No, hang on. I want to go on Saturday now. I said, no, it's my turn for the. No. I had such a good time on Friday.
Right.
I'm going on Saturday. You can have Sunday. Forget it, man. And they'll go out and get the ticket anyway.
It's so
affordable.
Well,
there's the problem that's going to arise. Exactly. Just get your own ticket.
It's so affordable to
Don't
get.
Be cheap.
the one-day tickets too. Like if you pay for the one-day ticket and you want to go another day, it's still super cheap to go. It's still so affordable, and you're going to get so much quality for what you're doing, and not just in the events, the shows themselves. I mean, on the Saturday, how many blocks of entertainment do you have in terms of shows?
I think
there's like
4 or 5.
3 or 4. 4. So yeah, it's like seeing four movies. And for $50, you get 4 movies, and you also get the party, and you also get the panel. Like it's way more than you can ever get going to a movie anywhere in town. Some crappy Hollywood blockbuster. Like, why do you want that? And you can have a drink, and you can socialize, and you can network. It's a better deal for that weekend. Like, you can go to a movie anytime. It's better.
Sure.
So if you do like one day, just buy a second day. It's totally worth it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And another option for the frugal at heart is volunteer for us.
Yeah.
If you volunteer for us, you get to be there. If you volunteer a certain number of hours, you get into things for free, other things for free. But, as a volunteer, you're going to be able to see some of the shows. You're going to be able to talk to people. It's a great opportunity. So go to our website, and I can't remember if it's volunteer or volunteers at VancouverWebfest.com, but if you go to the website, it's on the website.
And I do remember last year I chatted with a couple of volunteers. They were having a really good time. They said, oh, this is so much fun. It was great. And I met these amazing people, and we're talking with you now, and blah, blah, blah. So, they're having just as much fun as if they come in as a paid guest, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody last year was amazing. They were super nice, helpful, and they were part of the fun. They definitely made it very entertaining.
Well, I definitely felt it was more of a community type thing. Like, everybody was kind of into the same thing. It was easy to start a conversation because everybody was excited about visual arts and movies and stuff. You could just end up talking about all sorts of stuff. Somebody you've never met before. You don't have to worry about the small talk because you're in an environment where everybody's focused on the same thing. Entertainment, visual, sound, actors, actresses. I mean, that's another thing that's there is, like, a lot of the actors and actresses from the shows were turning up at the event and hanging out and schmoozing with people, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... Okay, so I had a thought, and it's just left my brain. Okay.
That's fine. I totally agree. It was funny. It was really interesting to meet people who were acting in it, who were doing production on it, and that's the thing. It's not just, red carpet actors and directors. You had people who, I met a camera guy, I met a sound person, I met an editor. Like, I was having conversations on every level. People who wanted to be actors who were interested. There was people who weren't even at the event showing anything, but were there because they wanted to see if this is where they wanted to put their creativity, and they had lots of ideas, and it was great. It was full-on community, and it really inclusive, a real fun time.
The web series community, I think, has always been very inclusive and supportive of one another. There's a lot of cross-promotion going on with shows. I saw a thing today where one of the web series creators was trying to wear T-shirts from other shows in his show all the time to promote the other shows. Like, it's a lot of, like, Suzette and I have been to other festivals. You see the same people at the festivals. You become friends with them, and it's sort of a place to reunite every time. So, we've got the people from Seattle, Chop Saki Boom folks, and Zombie Orpheus people. They came last year. We saw them in LA. So they're old friends now. We're all gonna hang out at the festival.
Hang out and socialize.
But that's the thing about the web series community. It's super supportive. The creators are super supportive of one another, and it is very much a community.
Well, I think too it goes back to this is an emerging new thing. This is, people are learning as they're going, and if you're in an industry that is at that stage, it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for creative people or people that like a community and a giving group of people, because everybody's sharing, everybody's helping each other, and in the more developed industries and stuff like that, you kind of get these cliques happening, and it loses a lot of that creativity in not in like a standard creativity, but the Wild West type of thing, where you're running into problems, you're inventing, you're shooting from the hip, and you're just trying to get by type of thing. And I think that's really, really an exciting environment. And here in the North America especially, it's very hard to find an industry that is like that, because everything has been so overdeveloped and has been here forever. So finding a Wild West type of community or a Wild West type of industry to participate in is very difficult. And we are very, very lucky here in Vancouver that we have such a lot of creative people doing the same thing, but also having this Webfest that is actually focusing it and having these people run into each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it really is about solving problems with creativity and intelligence and ingenuity over money, and then learning how to get more out of the money you do have and developing your craft without having to spend all that much money. So most of the people that you meet have been through it all already, who understand what you've been through or what you're about to start if you're a creative, and also how to solve real problems and how to find those markets and find those audiences. It really is, it's like hanging out with the Musketeers. It's one for all and all for one, and it feels fantastic. For 3 days, it's got as much love as a Pride Festival, that's for sure.
Now, before we wrap it up, do we have any last comments or piece of advice from Paula and from Jadine?
Come to Vancouver Webfest. Get your early bird tickets before February 14th, or 15th. That's when the cutoff is. You got to get them by the 15th, and just come to the Webfest. Check it out. It's a great time. You'll have fun. I promise.
Yeah, I'll be wanting to go to the next one for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And after the 15th, it's $120 for the whole weekend, and it's absolutely worth it. There is 9 blocks of entertainment. There is so many panels. There's so many workshops. There's lots of people to meet. If you want to volunteer, it's volunteer at VancouverWebfest.com. Check out their website, VancouverWebfest.com. Their Facebook page, their Twitter is at VanWebfest. The hashtag would be hashtag VWF2015. Get in the conversation. A lot's going to be happening leading up to it and during it. Be a part of it. It's quite an event here in Vancouver, and we are super lucky that people like Paula and Suzette have the passion and the creativity and the know-how to put on an event like this in Vancouver for $99 before February 15th and only $120 after. Thank you so much, Paula Hoffman, for being on. It's an absolute pleasure, as always, and Bob and I are so excited to go.
Well, thanks so much for having me, and I'm so excited to have you there. You guys were a blast last year, and it's going to be a blast having you there this year.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm warming up already.
Awesome.
So from everybody here in the Crazy TV Talk studios, keep tuned. We're going to have a lot more stuff happening for the Vancouver Webfest. We're going to be there live doing some interviews. We might be broadcasting live, but we're definitely doing some interviews with people there and trying to get it out within 12 hours of recording it. So it's going to be one heck of a 3 days. If you see us scrambling around, please wave at us and say hi.
Come say hi.
Yeah, and if not, check us out and all our places you know about. And just as a heads up, we are going into our new season coming up. We're postponing the launch of it until just after the Webfest, and we're launching a new hashtag. And I'm going to throw that over to JD, and he can do our final wrap-up and info.
Yeah, so of course you can check us out at iTunes and any of your platform apps. Be sure to rate and review us for our podcasts. We're at Crazy TV Talk. At Crazy TV Talk. Our blog, our website is at crazytvtalk.com, and our new hashtag is CTT S4, Season 4 for our new season, and there's going to be some great stuff. We're going to be talking about Utopia soon. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming out of the Van Webfest. We're going to talk to some of the technicians who put it on. We're going to talk to some of the winners afterwards. It's going to be really exciting this Season 4 for us on Crazy TV Talk. Thanks, everybody, and go make a great day.
All right.